Hello everybody, and welcome to my Building Foxy Out of Wax series. This is actually the first part, because I did all of this before I had a YouTube channel. So I made the Foxy, I have a Foxy prototype of what I want him to look like. His head, his nose, peg leg. Peg leg isn't actually canon. I just thought it'd be cool to have one to make him a real pirate. This one's head swivels and arm can move. But for the finished project, I don't want that to be the case. As you see, he's held together by literal wax and toothpicks. Made him about a year ago and forgot about this project until about now. So he'll just be sitting over here in the depths of his own despair. We love that. So far I have a larger Foxy's head, torso, and lower body area. I want him to be bigger than his Funko action figure, or just any Funko action figure. As you can see right here, he's already about as big as the Vanny action figure, if not a little bit bigger. And I want him to be larger so that he'll stand out more on my shelf. Also, yeah, Vanny. So basically what this is going to be is just one massive time lapse, with little breaks in between to tell you how I think and how I feel about these sorts of things. So first I'm going to give you a little how to make with the left upper thigh. First, you want to get your wax warm enough so it can be melded. This normally takes about 5 minutes of just straight molding it. And during that time, you can mold it into the shape that you need. I recommend testing out the pieces. As you can see, this is way too big. Way too big again. Unless we're going for Glamrock Foxy, in which we're not. We're going for original FNaF 1 Foxy. It's just going to be a time lapse of me building him. And no, I'm not showing my face. All you will see is my fingers. And honestly, I think that's bad enough considering some people out there. As you can see, it's already starting to fit the shape, but it's going to take a little while longer for this to actually work. That, and also it's too big. So I'm going to cut off some of this part up here, and then just keep going. Future Bucheni. Time lapse. Future Bucheni and the time lapse. We're all done. So this is going to be test 1, the lower leg. It's quite good, but it's a little disproportioned, if you can see. You see that edge there? Yeah, we don't want that. So I'm going to pop it off, remove a little bit more, and just keep going. Begin time lapse for the second time. This is going to be fun to edit. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's the crickets outside of my window are just screaming. They paused for a moment as I started saying that. I think they heard me. Now for context, this is about the size of the head of the original tiny one. And this one's about 3/4 the size of a Funko Pop. That really shows you how big I want this dude to be. And since I'm almost done, we're just not going to jump into another time lapse because I don't want to edit that. Nobody would want to edit that. And sometimes you just need to do a little molding yourself. And see, that's a great first leg piece. Or whatever. Upper thigh, if you want to call it that. The main issue is how thick it is around the center, and we don't want it to be that thick. We love Foxy, but we don't want him to be anime. See, that's the upper part of the leg done. And that's already taken 5.5 minutes in real life, which is great. You want to know the best part? We're doing it all again. This series will really depend on how much wax I have. Because if I run out, then I'm going to have to buy so much more. And that's just expensive. So I'd assume these videos would only be out once or twice a week, just because of the pure time it takes to make these. Like, building pieces and parts out of wax is not easy. Neither is mechanics. But there's something just so satisfying about messing with wax. My plan is to build the entire FNaF 1 band, starting with Foxy, as he's really the main character of FNaF 1, and we all know it. I'm going to do a quick size comparison to the other leg because we want this to be as even as possible. Alright, it's looking a bit big around some of the thigh lower areas, so we're going to snatch a bit of that off. Now you can fast forward if you don't want to hear me ramble on about wax, but if you do want to hear me ramble about wax, then stay and listen a bit. I'll tell you a story just like Mr. Hippopotamus Man. Ah yes, our favorite Mr. Hippo. Ultimate Custom Night, my beloved. I'm tempted to play Ultimate Custom Night, but I'm just terrible at the actual games themselves. But if I get to 100 subscribers, I'll do it. I will play 3 rounds of Ultimate Custom Night in one video. Give me hints, give me tips, so I can actually be good at these games. Because while I love the fandom, I don't actually know how to play them very well. Those crickets, man. They're gonna drive me insane. Anyways, those look pretty much identical, minus the fact that this part is much thicker than I want it to be. So we're gonna chop a bit of that off. So that we can have a steeper slope. See? There we go. Of course, this will be painted over, solidified, glued. I'm not crazy. I'm not just gonna like stick it all together and hope it works. See, that looks great. You can't really tell because of the camera lighting, but it looks really good. The only real downside about this is how high I've decided to put these legs up. But it will help with stability. I'll be able to shave them down later once they're stable. So we're going to pop these off so that I can continue working. And we're going to get a full overview of the character now. If you've noticed the mats, yes, they're FNaF themed. I've got a Chica, a Bonnie, and a Foxy. I don't have any really good brown markers, so I don't have a Freddy, which sucks. So this is how I see my little fox. Don't clip me on that. But anyways, I think that's a pretty good start for this. Comment down below if you want to see part 2. Or technically part 5, since I've slowly been working on this over the course of like a year now. Tiny Foxy says goodbye.